Anthocyanins are the unique and naturally purple color that some fruits and vegetables have. And besides being beautiful, purple-fleshed fruits and vegetables are packed with health benefits, which I'll get to later. Hi, I'm Annette, a volunteer with Bounty and Soul, and I love food and cooking. I'm a plant-based home chef and a recent graduate from the Forks Over Knives Ultimate Cooking course. I've been a vegan for almost 10 years, and in today's video, I'm going to show you a kale and purple sweet potato salad recipe with Fig Balsamic Dressing. Each week at Bounty and Soul, we get kale in our market boxes, compliments of New Sprouts Organic Farm and Beacon Village Farms. And as you've watched in my previous videos, I've been showing you how to incorporate more kale into your diet. The first week we made a kale Waldorf salad, then we used kale to make a savory breakfast oatmeal, and last week we used that kale in a pesto recipe. So I hope you're beginning to get the hint that kale can be used in so many different dishes besides just the standard kale chips. And as I've said before, the more kale you eat, the higher total nutrient content of your diet will be. So go ahead, eat lots of kale, and know that your body will love you for it. So why purple sweet potatoes? What's the deal with this? Doesn't this look funny? It's white on the outside, but it's beautifully purple on the inside. And for this recipe, I'm going to use this guy. It's really called an Okinawan purple yam or sweet potato. It's the same thing. But if you can't find these purple fleshed sweet potatoes, you can use any type of sweet potatoes that you might find. There's a lot to choose from. This one has a white flesh on the inside. This is white on the inside. This is the standard jewel, which is orange on the inside, and I think this one is white on the inside as well. But any sweet potato would work for this recipe. Sweet potatoes are very high in antioxidants, and they protect your body from free radicals and chronic disease. So they're another powerhouse that you can put alongside kale and know that you're going to be eating, your body is going to love you for it. I got this guy at my local Asian market, but you may be able to find them at farmers markets or a health food store. In this recipe, use any kind of sweet potato that you want. In this recipe, you're going to need 6 cups of chopped kale, and I just went ahead and took the stems off and chopped this up, and now I'm going to set that aside for a little bit. You're going to need 2 or 3 purple sweet potatoes and baked. And I wanted to show you, this is what the sweet potatoes look like after they're baked. See how beautiful and purple they are, and they're very sweet. I'm going to show you what they look like. This is how I baked it. I did wrap it in foil, and now I'm going to go ahead and take this skin off of them and show you how I take that off. And it just comes off pretty easy. Just pull it right off like that. And then I'll just toss this with the others that I wanted to show you. See how pretty and purple they are inside? And this is so good for you.
What temperature did you bake it at?
I always bake very high. I baked this at 420 degrees for about an hour or so. Get rid of that, and then you just cut it up and see how moist it is. It's nice to wrap them in foil and use it in that way. It retains all the moisture of the potato. And you could, if you wanted to, you could roast these. You could peel it ahead of time and then cut it up and dice it up like I'm doing right now, and then put that onto a baking sheet and roast them. But I chose to do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the rest of my potatoes. And there. So now, the next thing we need to do is make the dressing. And for this, I'm going to use it's going to be a fig dressing, and I'm going to use really ripe figs. And I'm just going to take the stems off and go ahead and place them in I have a nutribullet here that I'm going to be using. These are really ripe, and they're going to make it very sweet. So now to that, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of balsamic vinegar. And I'm going to add a couple of cloves of garlic. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. The cinnamon, I think, is going to give it a real nice little flavor there. Unique flavor. And I'm going to add some thyme to it as well. If you had fresh thyme, you could do that as well. But it's a little too much. There we go. I'm going to be adding some water to it to thin it down when I start blending it. But we need to add some maple syrup to it as well to make it a little bit more sweet. The balsamic vinegar has a little bit of a acidic taste, and the maple syrup will counteract that a little bit. And that was 2 tablespoons. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of water to it. I don't know, that was a 1/2 cup or so. It doesn't really matter. You just blend it to the thickness that you want. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Check on the thickness. I think it could have just a little bit more water added to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more. And yeah, I think that's better. All right, so now our dressing is done. And now I'm going to put it onto the salad. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this in here into my kale, and I'm going to massage the kale to make it more digestible, easily digestible, and to actually dress the salad a bit. You just want to do this for a few minutes, like a couple of minutes or so, and make sure the kale is completely covered with the dressing. So I've massaged the kale a couple of minutes with that, and now I'm going to add some of my sweet potatoes. I'm not going to add all of these because there's a lot of potatoes here, but I'm going to add a fair amount to that. Look how pretty that is, the green and the purple together. And I'm going to go ahead and toss this up, and if I need to add more dressing, I will, because you know the potatoes need to also have some of the dressing on them as well. Add a few more. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more dressing. Okay, I think that's good. Then the last thing I'm going to do is add some pomegranate seeds. I almost forgot what they were called. Oh my goodness, doesn't that look great? And this is about a 1/2 cup of pomegranate seeds. Last but not least, my friend, the pepitas. I'm going to add some of those to the top. Ooh, they look so pretty. And there we have our salad. And there we have our salad. I hope you like this kale and purple sweet potato salad recipe, and we'll give it a try. And I would encourage you to try all the different types of sweet potatoes out there. Each one is unique and has a different flavor, but they're all good and they're all good for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Join me each week at Bounty and Soul. And if you found this video helpful in any way, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me. This is Annette signing off for now. And remember to invest in your health by eating whole, unprocessed foods.